Great.
Well, thank you all for coming back. So now that we have this book, and we are going to be preparing the files for Lulu, and then we will be contacting our webmaster. We'll be contacting Denny to add this to our website, and also to put up a new page with the materials and process videos. So if you have made a video and you could send it to me by WeTransfer, I will add it to our channel, to our YouTube channel, and then we'll be able to link to that also for the page. And there are one or two of you I've spoken to about doing a materials and process video with you. So that would be something to set up. And I think that these things are really enriching the website. The website is really a great source. I think also at this time, it would be really good to add to our resources page. So if you can think of something that would be a valuable addition, that would be helpful for other artists or for other scholars, if you could let me know, send an email with the information that you think would be a valuable addition to the resources page. I think, for instance, there are a number of archives that could be added, for instance, and also the New York Public Library has really expanded their artist resources, so some of those could be added. But if you have things that you know about and you think might be useful for others, the more that we can offer, the greater value our website will be.
Right.
Hi, Jeannie.
Hi.
Hi.
Appointment,
Jeannie.
sorry. Coming back.
That's okay. Yes, Kim.
Yeah, can I finish what I was going to say? And I wish I had started with a thank you for the layout and the design. I think our
Yes.
books are just gorgeous. And the printing this time seems to be even better. It's just, it's really top notch, just really top notch.
Yeah.
Along with that, Sass asked me, and I agreed with her, that as we are aging, the light text is getting harder and harder to read. We're wondering if there could be a little bit stronger, heavier text. That's it. Other than that, it's just really gorgeous, gorgeous work.
Duly noted.
Just wanted to let you know that edition 1 also loves the books, and they're actually keeping a set for themselves.
Oh, that's great. I'm so glad you used them, because I've used them over the years when I've done catalogs myself, and I haven't wanted to spend the money, but then I'm always glad, because it's so much better than the online people like.
Yeah.
We will be having all the others printed at Lulu again, which makes them accessible to the public.
Yes.
That's that print on demand. But this they did really a top-notch job. And Carol, you mentioned that they're just taking extra care with it now for some reason, and because they really value the project, as you said.
Yeah.
They're paying.
That's great. Well, that's you two. Pat yourselves on the back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Doing a great job, really.
Yeah.
So I can also report that on Saturday you got your books, and on Sunday I wrote hand notes and packaged the books and got them mailed on Monday morning to all the art libraries.
Great.
Thank you so much.
About a week ago.
And thank you so much.
San Francisco Public Library wants every year now, so they have them.
Oh, great.
There was a hand that was just raised just a moment ago, and then
Susan.
lowered. Yeah, Susan.
What do you think? I know it would be an extra cost of making like cardboard boxes for like a set of them to fit inside of
Ooh.
Once we have our set completed, that was the idea of having them all the same size, was to have a box set, to have boxes made.
Yeah, because I think that would even save the issues in better condition.
Right, but we have to make sure that we know the sizes, because
Right.
there are slight changes in paper and page number and everything, and we want it to fit. So that's why we're waiting for the whole project to be completed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what exactly is the next project? Which year?
The 90s.
90s.
Oh, it's the
God.
80s or 90s?
The
90s.
90s next. We've
Yeah.
done the 80s.
We've
Done
got the
70s,
80s.
done the
Yeah.
80s. Now it's the 90s.
70s.
I love watching us. I love looking at everyone's photos, and seeing
Yeah.
us over the years.
Yeah. Yeah, really, really.
Yeah, going back to the 70s was really something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
what about the very first book? Can we print that the same size? Is it possible to change the format enough, or?
it's
Yeah.
on Lulu. It is the same size. It's on Lulu, the same size.
Right.
Oh, it is.
Lulu is the same
I
size.
just ordered it that way, yeah. Okay.
Anyone who orders them, anyone who goes onto Lulu and orders them will be able to get them all the same size.
Oh, that's
And
great.
it's pretty good
but
quality.
mine are different.
Yeah.
Mhm. Well, that was the first one. We just, the first,
Right.
but when we uploaded everything to Lulu, we reduced the size.
Okay, okay.
So that eventually they'll all be the same size. It's just that the nicely printed edition one copies for our
Okay.
first. But the issue there is kind of the tail wag the dog, because we found out when we went to all the, the online print places that they have kind of standard sizes, and most of them don't do custom, and we couldn't get a 9x9 or whatever, 8.5 by 8.5 square. Some square formats are offered by some of these printers, but 8.5 by 8.5 was the closest we could get.
Yeah.
So that was, maybe I should have researched that first, because the original design was 9x9.
I don't think you should feel you should reproach yourself, because even Lulu has stopped what they have done in the past. So I've done books that are 12 by 12 inches, and they no longer print that at all.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you never know, basically.
No, you
Right.
never know. And I think we've just, we have faced each new stage, and I think what you and Carol did was just spectacular. So
Yeah.
I won't tolerate it anymore.
Well, yeah, Carol has her own printed by edition 1, and they do a great job.
Beautiful.
Your books are beautiful, Carol, your own books.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So has anyone been doing any video documentation on their own in the last month or two? Have you
Not in the last
seen
minute.
anything?
Not yet.
Coming.
Yeah.
Not yet, but coming.
Okay, so anyone who did not do an interview who would like to, just keep in mind that there'll be another opportunity for linking and having it included on the webpage when we add on the new book.
Mm-hmm.
You have your hand up.
I do. Hello.
Yeah.
Is there a deadline? Because I decided what I'd like to do is I'd like to do a longer video and then have it edited for Baywalp. And it's a video I've been wanting to do for a while. So what's interesting is I put, of the 4 decades, I kind of tailored my studio into a little gallery. And it's been so wonderful to see 2 objects per decade, which then I have kind of a visual to talk about my materials and process.
That's good.
But I wanted to basically confirm the amount of time you feel should be designated for our Baywalp group. Is it 12 minutes?
So the artist interviews that we did, where we interviewed each other, those were all limited to 20 minutes, and they were all standard. In terms of the materials and processes, those have been of different length, but in sections. So if you go onto our channel, onto YouTube.
Oh, I saw them. I saw them all.
Yeah.
And
So
I
you'll
love,
see that
I love yours,
all,
Libby. Yeah.
they're all
Yeah.
in segments. They are all in segments, so that yeah, it's hard to have a video that goes a really long time.
Well, no, I
Yeah.
just would like to do one. So what would you recommend? 12 minutes?
That's a good length of time.
Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you.
That's a good length of time. Yeah. So, are there any other issues about books coming up, or videos, or
I have a question
yeah. Mhm.
for general answers, whoever might have one. How do you deal with the process of changing your paintings? Do you say stage one, like if you don't know what it's going to be, where it's going to end up, do you document and include documentation? Is that sort of a fun thing to do? I mean, I always think, like on Instagram, people are always showing things in process, and I'm hesitant to do that. It just seems.
So I've done a couple of different things personally, and others can chime in on what they've done. I have like one little video that shows a painting where I've taken stills, and it just kind of goes through and has it. And I have one on my personal website there, and there are more on YouTube. I mean, on YouTube, I have on YouTube also. So what's interesting to us and so fascinating is really no more than paint drying for a lot of people. So you have to kind of figure out, again, like Jean was asking, what is the attention span? And like a minute can be really long on a YouTube video. You can take that. But in terms of, I thought you were going to be asking about archiving, and this came up before about prints. And so I found in going through an old portfolio from 1973, 74, 75 prints, that they're all in different condition as well, even though the whole edition has just been sitting there, because some of the paper is damaged, some isn't, and all kinds of things. And they were all signed and numbered back then. So I actually photographed every single one, put that into my inventory, and can have notes. And that way, that if something goes to one collection, another print goes to another collection, you actually have a corresponding number, and the condition of the work and which one actually went out. So it's a lot. It's just as much as if you had, 20 drawings or 20 anything else. It's a lot. Yeah. We think it's like easy and fast, and we get like all these images. It catches up with you at the end.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you call my name?
Kim.
Okay. So if I understood what you were saying, Livia, is what do we do about putting things on Instagram? It's so wonderful to see people putting things in process on Instagram. It's really, really wonderful. I personally feel it's one of the most tender aspects of Instagram, is that people are more and more putting up works. Now, I find it a hazard because I end up many times painting over the piece, so the piece doesn't even exist anymore. So I think it's just a hazard, and I think it's worthwhile doing anyway, and I love to see it. I find that I'm helped a great deal by photographing something in process and going back and looking, and there are many times something that I preferred before, and then so it's a hazard.
I can think of two exhibitions. One was at UCLA in 1966 of Matisse, a very important exhibition of Matisse that UCLA put on, where they had his large pink nude, and they had photographs because Matisse had a photographer, very famous French photographer, whose name escapes me now, photographing this painting with incredible changes. And then there was an exhibition at the Jeu de Paume with all the photographs with a number of different paintings. I think there were 4 or 5 that he had photographed as he went through changes. And they're really extraordinary and have been documented, and they're fascinating. Another person who did this was, I'm pulling a blank now. It'll come to me. It'll come to me more recently. In
William Kentridge.
Well,
I mean, he does a great job.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Stanley Lewis.
Stanley Lewis.
Stanley Lewis. He's a fabulous painter. I just bought his catalog. He shows with Betty Cunningham.
Uh-huh. Lewis.
Lewis. He's our age.
Wow.
He taught for years.
Oh, was he the guy that does the little teeny paintings, that lives in upstate New York, who goes back to ones that have been even 30 years old and keeps painting them like they're
Not
totally
that small, but you know.
That's someone else. I know who you're talking about.
I'm gonna find the catalog.
something I heard on
I can't think of his
hyperallergic.
name.
If I can I just ask one quick question?
Sure.
It's a stupid question, because because of all different reasons, I didn't do my interview, but I interviewed Liz.
Right.
So was our segment 20 minutes long or 10 minutes each?
No, it was 20 minutes. Each interview is 20 minutes.
Oh, each one of us gets 20 minutes. What is it too different if I just made a 20-minute talk myself?
Yeah, it's really different. Why don't you ask one of the artists to do it with you? Anyone. Yeah.
Okay.
It's really nice. They're very intimate. It's very different. It's
different.
That's not to say that we don't all have videos that we've made and documentaries. I mean, I had one made, and Curtis has made videos, but these are just really special, and people love them. I have to say, people really love them.
Do you know that somebody from my high school in Chicago contacted me after all these years? I knew him at the first year of college. And he said, I saw your interview on YouTube. I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
I mean, that's so weird. And that was
a rock star.
It's good.
No, they're wonderful. They're really wonderful. And they also have that. I mean, the other aspect is that during the pandemic, they were precious. I mean, just think back 3 years, the fear and the feeling of what was going on at the time. It was really special. And there's a, I don't know. It's like none of us were wearing even skin, much less clothing. It was really, they're wonderful. I think
they're different. I think
they
it's
are really different. Quite,
yeah.
And I think they're going to be really important to people that haven't been born yet. Really, really.
Awesome thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see,
Susan, I'll interview you.
Who said that?
Carrie.
Yeah.
Carrie.
Fiona did.
Okay, Carrie.
You didn't get yourself yet, Susan?
And
No,
Priscilla,
I thought
I'm
you
almost
said
done with
that.
ours.
I would do it. I'd be happy to.
Okay.
It's interesting if you've seen the work. We could also do it 3-way. I mean, it's us all,
Okay. Thank you, everybody who's offered. Thank you.
So Lulu, do you have your book?
Oh, here's the catalog.
Oh,
He built himself a hut so he could paint outside in the winter.
Oh, wow.
And he has videos. He has videos of him painting and talking about Dürer landscape engravings that he breaks down, and he's just a delightful person.
So Frank Auerbach was the person I was thinking of, who also
Oh,
would have
right.
these portraits that would just go through incredible changes, and he
Mm.
photographed them along the way.
That's great.
Yeah,
Right?
his work was really fantastic.
It's certainly great for the artist to do that,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
to see what you're doing.
I mean, the whole issue of how individuals want to use social media and use Instagram, that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother topic.
Do-
But
I,
Can I mention the Gallery Route 1 interviews? Because I've been getting calls from the one I did with Fouad.
Mhm.
People stumble on.
The talk.
The talk, yeah, they Gallery Route 1. Well,
yeah,
yeah, Pamela.
Can I sneak in here?
Yeah.
Am I unmuted?
You're fine. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Please let me know if you would like to, to be interviewed and who you would like to have the discussion with. It was great that Lulu wanted to work with Fuad. And next Wednesday, Elizabeth Addison and Vicki Gunter will be on the program. And we finally got a publicist, and we're doing things very professionally. So please let me know.
What, do you have a name for what you're doing, an organization or a website? Or?
Gallery Route 1 is a gallery in Marin.
Right.
And the program that I produce is called Artists Exchange. And I began it with Shelley Rugg, who's now the executive director, during COVID, because we missed talking to other artists about ideas in our studios.
Right.
So the whole point is that you and another artist would not talk about, your life emotionally, but how you make things, why you make things. And we open it up to any viewers who want to ask questions. And we've had questions from people like, how do you make art when you haven't in a long time? Or where do you get your ideas? Or what size paintbrush do you use? So people are still talking about Lulu's and about Andre's. If you go to galleryroute1.org and you look up on the top and you find programs, bring that map down. And we've now been up for almost a year and a half. And so you can go through our archive and pick who you want to watch. Oh, Carol Newborg and say his name.
you're muted.
Isaiah. Oh, Isaiah.
Yeah.
They did an interview as well.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
And I think I have Ruth now, Pam. Remember the first one we were supposed to do, and she couldn't. Now she can.
And who was that?
Morgan, the photographer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Who was
Ruth
that?
She's having a show this Saturday at Richmond Arts Center.
Yeah, 12 to 2. Who are you talking about?
Ruth Morgan. She's a very good photographer.
And
remember we were going to partner? Now she can.
Yes.
Anyway, she photographed a post-fire town.
Paradise. Yeah.
Not Paradise, different one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So can I write you down, Jeannie?
Yeah.
Okay, you and Ruth.
Partly what's interesting is if you've known someone's work, like I've known her work since our 20s, that's interesting to have that background and watch all the changes.
Yep.
Yes.
She's also a major community activist and founded
Totally.
Community Works, that works with formerly incarcerated teens and families. I mean, she did, amazing lifetime of work and her art. She did the original, they were like 8 feet high. She printed portraits of guys on death row, black and whites, that traveled to Europe back in the 80s. And I mean, she's just amazing. So I can't wait to see this new show. Yeah.
Where is it? Where is it?
Richmond Arts Center,
Richmond Arts Center.
Saturday afternoon. She's
Oh,
one.
there's so much happening on Saturday.
Yeah.
12 to 3. Is 12 to 2?
12 to 2, I believe. She's talking too, I believe.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
12 to 2. I'll have to.
That's what I wrote down at any rate.
Good.
Before we actually say goodbye or end this, it'd be really nice just to go around and give everyone a chance just to talk about what they're up to and what they've been doing, because it's been a while since we gathered together. And I think maybe we'll start. I'm gonna call on Kim first, because she's in my upper right hand corner of what I'm seeing right now.
Okay. What most important for myself right now is a 4-woman show that's going to be at the Richmond Arts Center in September. And it's myself and Sass Colby and Joel Jones and Irene Imfeld. There'll be a small brochure. May I say this, Jan?
Sure.
Yeah, okay. Small brochure, and Jan will be writing the essay in the brochure. So we're really excited. Really, really excited. The name of the show is Secret Orders from the Heart.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, Tuesday, I'm going to New York for 2.5 weeks to cat sit for Judith Linares, who's having a show in London.
Wow,
And
that's great.
I couldn't pass up the chance. And I'm going to try to talk to some people and do business, which I'm not. I did that in the 80s. I'm not really prepared for it, but I'm going to see the Piranesi drawing show at the Morgan. That's what and draw in my sketchbook and paint at night with 2 cats.
And see Wang Nechi Mutu at the new museum.
Oh, yeah.
It's so wonderful. It's just beyond my expectation. It was so wonderful.
Good. Yeah.
Pamela.
Okay. Thank you, Jan. Apart from Gallery Route 1, which takes a lot of time, I have a show coming up in October at Abrams Claghorn Gallery, and joining me in that show will be Carol Newborg. And so well, I'm not gonna tell you exactly what we're gonna do, but it's a melding of our bodies of work.
Good. Congratulations, Jean.
Thank you.
Oh, well, like I said, I'm really enjoying cleaning the studio up and presenting, putting a lot of effort into thinking about the archive in a more conscious way. And I am planning on doing a video. So I haven't done the interview, but I'd like, Jan, for you to do a materials and process with me. But it's really wonderful. I'm going over all my my sketchbooks. I was fanatic about, since the 70s, keeping those, those black hardcover journals, which are great at the library. And it's so I'm sort of going down memory lane and doing some stitching, but just really enjoying kind of thinking more about the stewardship of my work.
Livia.
Well, I've been hanging out in the studio a lot, going over older things, which makes me question about, photographing things more in process, because sometimes they just go through amazing changes. And aside from that, I've been doing a lot of smaller works, and Transmission has offered me a show of those that'll be opening in May. And a lot of them, well, they're mostly all little gouaches that I've done on archival photo paper. So they're really a lot of fun. They're very, kind of, for me, very ornate and very busy. But you know, people seem to like them. So anyway.
Great, great. And Elizabeth?
Well, as usual, I have a lot going on. I'm just so proud that Carol and Jan and I have completed the 80s. I'm really proud of this book. I'm in 2 shows, one of which I'm excessively proud of because it really is what I'm interested in, is the confluence of science and art, and women at the confluence of science and art. So I'm one of 13 artists in an invitational show in Lincroft, New Jersey, at the Monmouth Museum, called Inquestigation. And it was a national women's caucus for art invitational, and I have 7 works in that show. And that's pretty exciting. So if you're going to be in New Jersey before mid-June, stop by. That's always a question for me too, is like, you know, I didn't go to the opening because I didn't get paid to go to the opening, and it was 13 artists. I mean, I feel like I'm a newbie on the block with all of you, so I never know how to call these things. But regardless, it's quite an honor, and it's a spectacular show. I've seen the photos. It's really lovely. I'm also in the Collage-a-rama show at Arc Gallery. So I was invited to be part of the Collage-a-rama group of collage artists, and we meet monthly, about 12 artists, and the show is called Cut to the Chase, and we have an opening this Saturday at Art Gallery along with another show in that gallery. It's pretty exciting. It's really fun stuff.
We only have like 7 minutes left, so we're
okay. And plenty of curatorial projects, which I will tell you about because I would love to involve some of you. Okay.
Okay. Susan.
I just got back from 3 months living in Puerto Vallarta, and it was really good for me, artistically speaking, because 2022 seemed to be a hard year for me. I had a lot of, I don't know, work blocks about the painting because I couldn't figure, you know, I was a sculptor for so long and an installation artist for so long. I couldn't figure out why the hell I was doing paintings and what they were for and where they went. And so it's kind of depressing to just keep putting it in flat files. So, but I went to Mexico and I painted every single day. And so I came back re-energized to go back to work. And that's the whole deal. My biggest work, okay, you're done. I'm doing the next issue of Weed Magazine, and it's going to be really politically interesting because we want to do it with Indigenous and artists of color and young people, and whether they think feminism is still viable or not.
That'll be interesting. I think we're just going to have to come back again because we won't get through, and that's not fair to not get through. So Leah.
Okay. Mostly I've been thinking about what to do with my work and how I want it placed, and that's very, very complex thing to do. But that's sort of a long-term thing. And then just short-term, I'm just working in the studio, not that many days, but a few days, and working with images, photography, garden, plant fibers, bark, all kinds of different things. So that's what I've been working on. And then also I have thousands of medical conditions that I have to deal with. So it's actually a great relief not to have a big show coming up that I have to prepare for. It's much more relaxed now. You know, there's shows coming up, but right now I don't have a show coming up right away, and I'm happy about that. So that's good enough.
You're mute.
You're mute, Jen.
There are trains going by all the time. Priscilla.
Well, I got really turned on by that legacy call from the Joe Mitchell Foundation. I read most of it, and a great deal of it really resonated with me. And I started making lists and labeling boxes and telling myself where they're located, that kind of thing. I got really turned on to that. Basically, I've been doing some studio clean out and a down memory lane, as one other person mentioned, and having a lot of fun with that. And that's what I'll say for now.
Good. Sally?
Oh, it's been a really dark winter. Shane was laid up for a long time with sciatica and then vertigo. But when the days I've been able to be in my new studio up in Sonoma County, I've been cutting up things and making collages and trying to find a new direction, really, being open to it. And I would love to get back to painting as well, but at this point, my time is short. We've also had this weird, well, I won't go on anymore, but yeah, that's it. Spring has sprung. That's the good thing.
The great thing.
Yeah.
Carrie?
I did some gardening today. That felt really good. I have a 2-person show up right now in a gallery in Calistoga. I know it's off the beaten track, but it's called Sophie Gallery, and the owners are really lovely working with them. I loved them the moment I met them, and it was so nice to have gallery people looking at my work, but looking at my website and loving everything I do or have done. And that was just like, wow, that doesn't happen. Anyway, this show is up until the end of May, and it's called Winter's Blooms. Yeah. So if you need to have a mud bath or go somewhere really wonderful,
Congratulations.
That's where you can go. Thanks.
Jeannie?
I am working on a body of work that was collected by the San Francisco Library, that is the AIDS portraits, and everything got put on hold because there was supposed to be a show during COVID, and then COVID came. So this is 3 years later. It's going to be in the fall, and I'm actually making an edition 1 book with the help of Carol of that body of work. And so that's been, that's sort of coming up. And then I'm also trying to work with that body of work in other archives. So I've been doing that. And then I've been decluttering my house. It's actually quite great. And getting spring fever for the last few days. But I have been working on that, and then learning how to enlarge images there's some new methods that can go from phone to large, and that interests me because you always have the phone. And 2 other bodies of work that are just ongoing that are fun. And I went in LA for a week and saw some really terrific shows, and from Kentridge to the LA County New Acquisitions, which was terrific, and a great African-American art show, just great work. And I saw, this is kind of fun since we're this age, I saw my friend